Are you struggling to see any progress in your back growth despite working out regularly? In this video, I'm going to discuss 3 game-changing techniques to transform your back and help you get the V-taper look you've been chasing after. Welcome back to another video. I'm Brendan Martinez. I'm currently getting my doctorate in physical therapy. Like I just mentioned, we're going to be going over 3 techniques to help accelerate your back growth. And I'm going to also explain how you can implement them into your workout program. So stick around because I promise you there's going to be a game changer if you implement these 3 things. So make sure you stick around because these 3 tips are going to help transform your back. Jumping into the first technique, it revolves around choosing the appropriate rest time in between sets. This is by far one of the most neglected areas of lifting, and it should vary depending on what your goals are at the gym. According to the American College of Sports Medicine, the ideal rest time if your goal is muscle hypertrophy or bodybuilding should be between 1 to 2 minutes. These shorter rest times can help with training volume, which is kind of a teaser to one of my further points. And it's also going to help increase your blood flow, and both of these in conjunction can also help with muscle hypertrophy. And like I mentioned, this is the standard if your goal is muscle hypertrophy. However, if you are going for strength, you should not be doing this 1 to 2 minute rest time, and it should actually be a little different. If your goal is to increase strength, you should be taking 3 to 5 minute rests in between each set. Without going super in depth about how our body uses energy to fuel exercise, essentially all you need to know is that these longer rest breaks is going to translate to allowing your body to recover its strength, and then on the rest of your sets you're going to be able to do higher weight, which ultimately will lead to more strength gains. So the takeaway of this point is that rest times are important and they vary depending on what your goals are at the gym. If this is something that you've never considered, try implementing this and I promise you're going to start seeing results. Jumping into the second technique to build a bigger back is incorporating isometric contractions. Studies have shown that isometric contractions are amazing to accelerate muscle growth because it's going to lead to more motor unit recruitment and also more time under tension, which is a topic that I've covered in previous videos. Just to keep it simple, motor unit recruitment is essentially how many motor neurons are firing in a specific muscle, which ultimately will dictate how many muscle fibers are being contracted. And basically, the more muscle fibers that are being contracted, the more muscle hypertrophy that's going to take place. A good example of how you can incorporate isometric contractions into your workout program is during lat pull downs. In this video here, you see that right when I get to the bottom, I'm pausing for about 2 to 3 seconds before I bring it slowly back up to the start point. Like I just mentioned, this pause is going to increase my time under tension and also the motor unit recruitment. And I promise you, if you incorporate these into your training program, you are going to feel the difference right away. Similarly, another example of how you can implement isometric contractions are during bent over rows. You see when I get to the top of the exercise, I'm pausing for 1 to 2 seconds before slowly lowering the weight. The opportunities are endless about how you can implement this into just about every exercise. But the main takeaway is that if you currently are not doing this type of training, you really need to start. Before I jump into the third technique, if you're enjoying today's video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. And if you have any questions about the content covered, drop a comment down below and I'll try my best to answer it. I had to bring the hat forward for this one because it's so important. Tip number 3 is choosing the appropriate intensity. Many people don't know that there's an ideal amount of sets that you should be completing each week for muscle hypertrophy. And if you know this set range, it's going to help prevent overtraining or conversely not training enough. In a 2019 systematic review, they found that the ideal set range is between 28 and 30 sets per week. Now, I remember when I first heard this number, I thought to myself that there's no shot that I'm ever going to be hitting that many sets per week. But if you're smart with your training and you know how to properly optimize what you're doing, this is very doable. An example of how you can implement this is if you go to the gym twice per week to train your back, you will need to perform 4 exercises varying from 3 to 4 sets per exercise. On the low end, you will be performing 24 sets per week. And then conversely, on the high end, you'd be performing 32 sets per week. So essentially, you're gonna have to do some math, but you wanna be between that 28 to 30 set range per week, and it's ultimately gonna lead to more muscle growth and muscle hypertrophy. So similar to the 2 tips I just mentioned, having the appropriate training volume will optimize your time under tension, ultimately leading to more muscle growth. That's all I got for today's video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and drop a comment down below if you have any questions about the content covered. I'm going to leave a link to the research articles that I used for this video in the description down below if you want to check them out yourself. Other than that, have a great rest of your day.